Another booth. This time we're in one in Hackley Park, and you are?
Sandy Decker,
Where are you from, Sandy?
Fremont, Michigan.
Fremont, okay.
Yes.
And what is this work that you have all over behind us and we're stepping on?
We're stepping on it. These are floor quilts, and they're made from recycled linoleum and fabric. And these are all made with either painting or stitching or hand painted, and they're all my original designs.
Okay. You must spend an awful lot of time at a sewing machine.
I do. I do. Absolutely.
And where do you get your concepts of making some of these with the designs? They are very unique and bright and cheerful.
Thank you. I love color. I love working with color and just trying new things and experimenting and seeing where it leads. I usually don't have a big vision in mind when I start. And so I start small and it just kind of grows. So.
As I noticed, yeah, there's little things in the middle and some of these, and they get bigger and bigger.
Exactly.
Is that how it works?
Exactly.
And then we have a bunch of them hanging on the rods over here. And
right. We've got table runners, and then I make the vases the same way I make the floor quilts. So.
Okay. Now most of these are table covers or what?
These are all wall hangings and
Wall hangings,
art
okay.
quilts. And
You
then
have to excuse a man's view.
that's okay. That's all right. So these are original, like I said, original designs, and then the table runners will go on tables or on buffets or pianos or whatever you want to use them for. So.
And then the ones that we're standing on, you said are recycled linoleum?
They are with fabric, so I can use some of my remnant materials to make them, and they're great to put down on wood floors so that the spills and stuff, you can just kind of hide it or put a pop of color in a room. That's kind of
well, we'll get
beige.
some shots of those too.
All
How
right.
are you doing out here? Are you enjoying yourself?
I'm doing very well, and yeah, the booth is doing well, and I'm enjoying myself.
Very
So,
good. Well,
yes.
thank you for being here.
All right, thank you.
Had to stop in this one. There is a lot of great nature scenes in here. And I don't know if this fella had telephoto lens or he really got close to these animals. And you are?
I'm Dallas Carlson.
Where are you from?
From Holland, Michigan.
Oh, we won't hold that against
There
you.
we go. There we go. Yeah.
Suburb of Muskegon.
That's right. Yeah.
And you just got to tell us about these. Number one, you were just explaining this one to somebody.
Exactly.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, this shot right here was early morning in Cades Cove in the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee. The park had just opened, and I was driving around one of the sides, and all at once the deer were out there grazing, and it was just a picture-perfect moment. I call it a kind of a geographic type moment, but the different layers and the levels and all that stuff really presented a great opportunity in photographing. Yeah,
Looks like it's about 50 miles in the background. In that
it really is, but it's really iconic as you look at the very top of the Smoky Mountains because of the smoke. And it's funny because I have people that say, "Did you photograph or did you Photoshop that in?" And I always ask the question, "Have you ever been to the Smoky Mountains?" When they say no, that's usually the reason why, because it's really iconic of that area. Yeah.
Now you must do a lot of traveling with all these pictures.
There is a lot of traveling involved. This represents right here about 7 years of traveling throughout Alaska, Maine, Yellowstone, just all over North America. Yeah, a couple years ago I was actually recognized by National Geographic photographer and writer, which is a real highlight for me. But it's just about capturing the expressions of the animals, and that's what I love to do about.
Well, this is something that the public doesn't see when they see an animal, because they just see them way off far
Usually at a distance.
with no basically personality, and you have animal personalities in these.
Well, you do. You have to be. You have to have a little bit of wildlife biology 101. I'm certainly not a wildlife biologist, but enough understanding of animal behavior, so when you're there in front of the animals, you can look for those expressions, like the owl in the tree and the moose with his tongue out, for an example. But pictures like that, it really captures the essence. There's an imaginary line between you and every animal that you photograph. And you have to find out where that line is, and with the right lenses, you can capture, shots of a lifetime.
You didn't stick your tongue out to the moose.
Well, no, right, exactly.
You got to do it.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
kids will do that.
Well, kids will do that all the time. Yeah, I get caught. My wife gets after me when I do it. But yeah, the moose kneeling right there is really the moose with his tongue out, and first time ever seen a moose kneel, and then he turned around and stuck his tongue out at me. So yeah, moose are
Oh, my
whimsical. Yeah.
Now, tell me though, these are beautiful shots. You must have had a good lens, and how far away or how close were you to these animals when you were taking these
Well,
shots?
actually, it's interesting. These animals, I've been as close as 10, 15 feet from 1,000-pound bears in Katmai
Really?
National Park, Alaska, and it's hard to describe the feeling when you're that close, and you really don't have a weapon. You're just there with your camera. So I always make sure I bring a slower runner with me. when I'm out there. So, just for this. But seriously, it's really overwhelming. But you have to respond properly, and when you do, it's amazing how close you can get respectively. You got to be careful. But yeah, it's
well, they understand you're not intimidating to them. You're just an object out there like they are.
Exactly. And the imaginary line that I referred to earlier, if you stay on the right side of that, they're natural and normal, doing what they would do even if you were not there. And so if you cross that line, then they're concerned about you. So you don't get the natural expressions in natural shots. So yeah.
What a tough job you
Well,
have.
somebody's got to do it. Somebody has to do it. But,
I know. This is great. So
yeah.
it's just neat that you've been part of National Geographic and recognized by them.
Well, yeah,
so
that's a real
special.
honor. Yeah.
All
definitely.
right. Well, thank you very much, and
Thanks
we'll
for
be moving
stopping
on.
by.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Here I am with MJ. And MJ, where are you from?
I'm originally from Toronto, but I live in Kansas City now.
And you came all the way here just for this fantastic new festival.
I did. Actually, it was in Toledo the week before and Columbus the week before that, kind of doing a little tour.
How do you like it in God's country here?
I love it. I love it. I'm, as I said, originally from Toronto, so this is my old stomping grounds. My sister's from Detroit, or lives in Detroit, so I've spent time up here. I love it up here.
Okay, and what have we got here, MJ?
We've got old window frames that I have refinished and repurposed, and then I painted on the back of the glass in a reverse style with acrylic. And as you can see, there's some translucency and some opacity. That depends on how much paint I leave on the trowel as I pull it through.
Well, I was just looking at this wall hanging over here, and you had a piece of paper on the backside, so that was not a good one for me to judge. But here,
True.
How you have the sun coming through, how they're translucent. So.
It's actually the paper on that one is because people always want to see and touch the back of it, and the oils from your hands and sharp fingernails damage it. So that's just for protection. That'll come off when somebody buys it.
Okay. And how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing it about 8 years.
Really?
Yeah. I'm an architect and a contractor by trade, and I had these windows staged in my garage for something, and I never really knew what I was going to do with them until I needed to do a color study, and I had no canvas, so I bought a piece of glass out, laid it upside down, and mixed a bunch of blues. And the next day I turned it over, and there were some really kind of cool things happening. I thought I could develop a language and kind of hone and harness the abstract with color and shape and see if I could tell stories. So all of these images you see behind you and around are actually events from my life, things that I would write in a journal that I'm not a very good writer. I chose to paint instead. So my sons are a big part of all of this stuff.
So that's what I was wondering, where the concepts came from and how you came up with this, because this is beyond imagination for me.
Well, thank you. Yeah, they're the impetus for a lot of the stuff. A 9-year-old and a 12-year-old, the stuff that comes out of their mouth, or their first bicycle accident, stuff like that. I try and capture the sadness, the happiness, just the dadness of it, I guess.
Have they ever broken a window on you?
They have. They have.
When you said that ages, I figured,
you're right,
Dad, let me help.
He's going to watch it. It was with a foam pig that he broke this window with, and he's going to laugh when he hears that.
That's neat. Okay, well, thank you for being here. Hope you do a great job.
Thanks very much, Tom. Appreciate it.
You being here.
Thanks.